let's see. All right, H4. Where were we last week? Let's see where we were last week. So the March. So it was a 26. $18.26. Okay, we were here. Yeah, so what they said last week. All right, so first off, honestly, I was fully bearish on this just due to the fact that we purged the high and we engulfed. Purged the high and engulfed, and on the euro, that's essentially, you know, the 1.08 that we mentioned. That and that reaction plus the accumulation, right? ARC, ST1, ST2, spring, LPS, second LPS, sign of strength was the taking out of these equal highs, right? Final LPS to mitigate previous position. And after there, we flew. And the only issue, remember, was the fact that we were flagging up, right? But the thing about the flag was, this is what I showed you in the markup. Let me pull up that markup. So let's see. This is the most recent one, I think. And yeah, it's this one. Yeah. So as we can see, minute 5. We're gonna zoom in. Just go ahead and do this, just so you guys can actually see it. All right. So it's here. Minute 5. Right. So what do we see here? Right, candle pushes down to mitigate potential previous SC. Now this becomes area of interest, 50%, and that's the tap there to the T, right? So this was the play. This was the play from this markup, this part of the markup here, the first entry. And so the reason why this this quote unquote pennant quote unquote bear flag failed was because we were consistently creating higher highs, consistently making higher highs, and the re-entries were perfect and followed order flow based off of our requirements, right? So this is SE play, inefficiency, and BOS here, right? BOS basically just told us that this is about to fly, right? So let's just clear this off. Right, and so we flew, and this went for what, 300 pips, right? 300 something. I was kind of sad I didn't like full margin that. But that overall went for over 300 pips, right? Off of so much confluence, right? Accumulation, overall break of structure there, right? Continuation, first continuation, second continuation, third continuation. The BOS was around here, considered technically fourth continuation play, and that's a full-on moon. And then obviously the one major pullback was into 50% inefficiency again. And from there, that's relatively maybe 8-7 pip stop, unless you obviously zoom in, and that went for another 180. So this is like volatility that we haven't seen in this pair in literally since back in May of 2018. This is the first time we've seen this this type of volatility, right? So honestly, at this point, fuck selling this, fuck that. I'm good, and let me tell you why. Because when we look at dollar, right? So we know EURUSD reacted from the SC that we've been calling for the past, what, 6-7 months, and dollar purged the high and immediately gave a reaction to the downside, right? And so now we're setting up for a very, very bear monthly, well, March, a very bear March. And when that concludes, that's your three. Look at this candle, how it's going to close. And then more importantly, we're looking at crazy wicks of rejection from 6 months. Obviously, that's still going to take another 4 months to close, right? But the bias is showing itself, right? Not only that, from this 6-month SC, right, we're reacting from 50%. Obviously, I don't like more than one touch, but it's reacting from it, and that's the point, right? I'm not going to take a trade based off of that, but it's giving me bias. And it's all falling into place when you really think about it from a macro scale. Same thing here.
Hey, Fredo, what was the time frame you said with all the perfect entries?
I'm sorry?
What was that time frame where you said there were so many perfect like re-entries?
You talking about the markup?
Yeah.
I mean, I explained them here. They're in the previous markups page. So yeah, just check that out. It's in the drive. But you see now, when we look at EURUSD, look at the 6-month candle. We just reacted 50%. Right? This is now what's really inclining me to stay bullish on this for a very long time. And the fact is that a lot of us caught the bottom. I don't think anybody's holding. I mean, to be honest, I might close soon because that swap is going to eventually eat off a big chunk of the position. But the fact of the matter is, we're looking at a massive macro, um, shift, right? Look at how long this is consolidated, and once it pops, it's gonna fucking pop. Like, you're gonna see stuff like this, right? These months are each 400 pips, right? That's one range, but what matters is the fact that we're looking at a massive impulse from a monthly time frame. So that just means buy, rebuy, rebuy, growth. And that's the type of volatility you want to take advantage of. Oh yeah, it does look like a bullish flag, but it's hard to catch the bottom. And this has shown itself to be the bottom, in my opinion. Right? 6-month SC, 3-month. Look at how that reacted. Right? We just basically purged these previous two lows, right? Reacted 50%, and even reacted from the open of that monthly SC. So you see how that all falls into place, right? So now you should be looking for, like, essentially we're looking at our safest entries for, EURUSD swings to the upside, right? Because we have a ton of targets, right? Like I said, we've left a ton of previous highs, equal highs everywhere, and those are all now just ultimately swing targets because we now are looking at potentially taking out everything, right? And when we're looking at it now from a weekly, let me just clear everything, right? We see this, right? Essential bear flag. Bull flag, I'm sorry. Right? And it's a bull flag because look at how corrective everything looks. There's no structure to it. And now we're seeing impulses that are very strong, right? And then something else to note, right? We're seeing diminishment of volume. And now we finally popped. We finally popped. We see the momentum. We see the volume. So there's no point in trying to fight it and sell. Like, I don't want to sell EURUSD anymore. Yeah, literally bull flag, diminishment of volume. We finally popped, right? So now every dip is when you want to buy. And now is when we can see these higher, like, these basically massive targets start to be, you know, a possibility, right? Look at this 700 pips away. This is personally from a position bias. This is like your first TP. I mean, your first TP from a position bias, right? Because based off of rules, right? Obviously, we have a reaction. First target is previous high, which is there. That's already massive by itself, 600 pips. Next one, 1,000 pips, right? And now imagine if you can get anything from 0.50, a standard, 2 standards, 5 standards, anything from there. That's like life-changing shit, you know? And that's ultimately the point. This is what we've been waiting for the past year, you know? Especially due to the fact that, right, we're looking at spring potential LPS here, right? Once we see LPS give full structure confirmation, that is your safest entry for a super long hold trade to even take out those highs, right? So just from looking at everything, from even from the news, all this Corona BS, right? Honestly, I think it's scripted. It's too like, it fits in together so nicely that it looks scripted, right? What are the odds of Corona killing off dollar, even encouraging us to cut rates as soon as we purged a 2019 high, as soon as we touched a monthly SC? What are the odds of that? Like, I'm not trying to be like a conspiracy theorist, you know, but obviously this stuff it looks too good to be true, you know? And obviously people are going to start panicking. People are going to start, you know, just going crazy, blah, 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 etc. And this is our opportunity to make a fuck ton of money. You know, like this is could be either you know, you've been failing at trading for the past 2-3 years, for the past 6 months, for the past 3 months, and then boom, it can just click instantly because you understand what's happening, and you're avoiding every ounce of BS that's out, you know, that can possibly mess with your head. So when we're looking at this now, this is looking straight. You could see literally just dollars start to fall, and you could see other markets start to emerge. You know, more importantly, something like this, right? The pound has been at all-time lows for the longest. And honestly, I wish I would have been paying attention earlier, because I would have wanted to hold massive swings from back down there and just holding these forever, right? So now is when you want to look for these, you know, crazy trades, these crazy just position trades, because we're not only super volatile at this point, but the opportunity is there, right? Yo, this dog better not fucking start again this week. Oh my god. My bad. That's so irritating. But yeah, I mean, you guys get the point. We're looking at major trend shifts, you know, like, and you heard it here first. You know, like, you don't see anybody saying this stuff, you know, just because whenever you try to proclaim you're a USD buy, you're basically laughed at, because you've been failing at it for what, a year, almost 2 years now. So I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm bullish on this. I have every reason to be. I have no more targets for a DXY. You know, obviously there is one left, which is that 50%, but I highly doubt that'll happen now, because this is considered, right? This is considered a higher high. Yo, hold on. All right, I'm gonna have to do something about that next week because I'm not about to be dealing with that every week. And it's literally, it's only every Wednesday that they do that. Every other night, I sleep good. I sleep like quiet, peaceful. There's no noise. They're not barking. But I still eat pullbacks on EU? Probably not, bro. Like, look, let me tell you why. Let's go over that now. So well, first off, also, right, we created higher high, but this is not convincing enough. This is not convincing enough, right? Like EURUSD, like the big massive swing sell that I got, earlier this, like a couple months ago, right? So basically inverted, right? We created a higher low, but this is basically a 90% retracement, right? And these two highs are extremely relative, right? Not to say that they're liquidities that can be purged, but they're relative to the point where it's a higher high, but I'm not bullish on it anymore. Right, if that makes sense. Like it's literally the inverted scale of this, even though it's a bit different because this didn't break the low, but it created a higher low, which would incline you to look for a higher high, right? But we know that this is relatively 90% retracement. So once we start looking for the opposite bias, right, we get a massive swing. So now we're essentially looking for any type of pullback to then take this deep, deep, deep down. So now, obviously, we want best case scenario is that, but like, let's be realistic here. Like, if this comes back down this deep, right? Look at how close these things are here. If this comes this deep, I'm not really positive these highs are going to be purged anymore. I'm going to see more like potential continuation, right? So at this point, I want to look for something close, something realistic, which is that. I'm not saying this can't happen. It's very likely, but I'm leaning more to this first area. And when we start zooming into that area, right, this is now my major swing higher low. So if we break this, I'm bearish. And obviously that daily zone is below that. Right? So if that breaks, this is going to go to hell. I'm not going to be interested in buying it. But let's say this zone hits. Now, what are we looking for? The only two things that come to mind in this area of interest are just in this time frame, right? My first one, obviously, inefficient pricing there, or two, inefficient pricing here, right? With this being the point where if that breaks, then I'm not bullish. I mean, I'm not bearish on it. I mean, I'm not bullish on this anymore. I'm sorry. Right. And so the thing that matches up though is this inefficiency here fills that daily inefficiency that we just pointed out. Right. And it'll make so much sense because look, I promise you that this outlook is extremely bearish. I promise you these look extremely bearish. Outlook. Yeah, look at this. Everybody's crazy bearish on this, right? Which is why I'm not trying to, sell this. I'm looking for these lows to be purged and hopefully tap inefficiency and just fly. And then we take this to the moon. This is like another, 200, 300 pip swing, right? Whereas now we can aim for this previous high, but more importantly, this inefficiency with also potential targets taking out relative equal highs here and previous high here, and previous high here. So this alone, this trade is 270 pips. There is racks to be made in that trade, in that whole, movement. Use the holding your other position. Yeah, of course, bro. Why would I close? Would DXY correlate with S&P? That correlation is weird, bro. It's not consistent. It's just I'm scared of the swap, bro. That's why if we break the zone, like I'm scared for that position because that position is like from somewhere here. But the thing is, bro, I want to hold this for like the next couple months because that's so I can then flex that monthly entry, But it is what it is. But the thing is, though, this is high potential here. Like crazy, stupid potential. Like fuck every other pair that I'm looking at. Like I'll gladly drop 2, 3, 4 standards on this and just ride this to the moon. But if we purge the highs, then now we're looking at potentially aiming for this previous low here, which I don't want that. Fuck that. I'm good. It doesn't make sense. It would go along with the bias that the masses have. Like I'm good now. So my prediction would be to hopefully, let's just start deleting this stuff. We could see, I saw some type of candle somewhere here, anywhere like that, and that would be ideal, right? And then obviously too, right, my head and shoulders failed. All right, so I mean, this is something I'm really looking forward to. And if we can get it this week, if we can get it tomorrow, that'd be perfect because then NFP, I'd be bearish. Right, especially after the rate cut, whatever happens with that, blah, 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 let all that noise happen, and then just let that propel us for a high probability trade to the upside. So just let it all come into play. You're going to see 20 screenshots of the same trade tomorrow. But yeah, it's just because it's making so much sense, bro. This just, it makes so much sense. It makes like it just fits in. Yeah, bro. I mean, actually, let's look at that. All right, my trend line. You probably got people buying. My third touch, my double bottom. Too easy. And then not to mention, bro, this is technically like structure bearish here. So inclined buyers there, reject, come down. Inclined sellers here, break and retest of my trend line, and then we take them out. It just makes sense. Like honestly, I haven't even looked at any pair just because I've been trying to analyze what's going on with DXY and EU. Because we're looking at stupid volatility this year. In the summer, yeah, and then also this daily, bro, I promise you people are saying like, oh, double indecision, blah, 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 and moon, and death, right? It's just, I don't know, bro. Look at how crazy this volume is. Like literally it took no effort at all to bring price up this high. Just because obviously sentiment switched and then rate cuts. Like here's the thing about rate cuts. Like who here knows what a rate cut is and what it actually does? Somebody speak up. Somebody tell me what a rate cut is and what it actually does.
The banks cut the percentage of interest that you get. Oh my bad.
Exactly. So
it does, but yeah, that's what it is.
So people are stupid. People are like, oh, rate cuts just happened. Sell dollar forever. That's what happened in September. You remember when Powell cut rates for the first time? That was like, I think September, March, 7 months ago. And look, EU ended up going to 1.08. Everybody was shorting dollar at that time. Be like, oh, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But what happened? It died. Well, EU died and DXY mooned. And that's because when you get a rate cut, you obviously incline, people to borrow more money, whether that's either regular people, you and me, or bigger investors that are looking into real estate or looking into any type of businesses, anything like that. They're more inclined to borrow money from a bank with a less interest rate. But it's just the issue is that this is the first surprise rate cut since the financial crisis in 2008, right? So now the issue with that now is it's a surprise, it's unexpected. It creates a confusion in the sentiment because people are now essentially quote unquote bullish because the rate could happen. So now we should see relief in the dollar and you should see recovery. But since it's an emergency rate cut, you're now looking at desperation from the Fed. And with desperation in the Fed, right, we can see, well, since that rate could happen again, now that now that the second rate could happen, we can look at inflation coming into play. And once inflation comes into play, that's a fat rip. That's a fat rip. Right? So it could just lead to an unsustainable situation to where a dollar can't sustain itself anymore. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But I'm not a fundamental guy. Fuck all that shit. I'm not that guy. But yeah, just this bias is just, it makes sense. But that's basically all I got for tonight. I didn't really take the time to even look at this one. If we miss the bottom on this one, I'm going to be really mad. Yeah, I'm going to be really mad if I miss the bottom on that one. Yeah, but we're looking at crazy potential in the pound, crazy potential in dollar, and that's all you need. I don't even care what the actual euro does. Yeah, sell EU, basically. Have you traded UCAD? No, bro, I haven't. UCAD's been choppy. I'm just mad I missed this. Just mad I missed that. Because this is probably going to fly. Yeah, this isn't something you want to sell. It doesn't make sense. Monthly SC, break of structure there. Targets here. I don't want to sell that. I get it. I get why they're selling UCAD. Like, for example, quote unquote, smart money traders, right? They're looking at this, right? Equal highs were purged. So because equal highs were purged, we should switch direction. No, that's false. Right. That's why I tell you guys, don't be influenced by equal highs, equal lows, because they're meant to give you targets, not influence direction. Direction is obviously found by your higher time frames. Right. And just like this 50% SC, like you're looking at a potential explosion. Right. And then also I think the Canadian government cut rates today too. So I don't know if that'll sustain itself, but we'll see. But yeah, man, this looks bullish to me. But it's weird just because like if I'm bearish dollar, I shouldn't be bullish on this. So this is why I just don't want to touch this, because I could just be completely wrong, and next thing you know, takes a shit. Right? Flag, failed flag. Like the bias is there. I see it. I see what people are saying. It's just I don't really want to touch it. Just too choppy. Yeah, I'm good. Like I'm good with EUAU and GU. Like, honestly, this one could explode too. I'm pretty salty. Like I really didn't like catch this trade. Like we called these targets perfectly, and I don't know. I just didn't take the trade because this is like look, this is like a straight up bottom here. I don't think it reached this far though. Yeah, I didn't. But just that reaction there is strong. I still remember when people were trying to call this the bottom. Oh well. And you got a fixed choice? Yeah, what about it? What about FX choice? Yeah, bro, this is not Wyckoff, bro. You're looking like actually I'm not even gonna name them. You guys know the people that try to call this stuff Wyckoff. That's nice. How many pips is that? 70, 50. I think that's 180, 190. Nice. I mean, look at that too from a higher time frame. Let's look at that. You, dude, this is wow. Look at this. That pisses me off right there. That genuinely bothers me right there. Yeah, man, look at this. This is potential right here. That's fat potential. Yep. You can easily take out these guys now. Yeah. I mean, like I really want to be bearish a little bit more, but honestly, I don't know if I'm going to get it. I don't know if I'm going to get any lower pricing. But I mean, once we get a good solid break of structure here, any GBP, like you're looking at fat swings. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm good. It's crazy. Like, what month are we in? March? Literally, like 4 months ago, literally, I would every Zoom, I'd get like the same questions, like what's an inefficiency, what's a sponsored candle, how do I figure out what it is, blah blah blah, this and that. And then now you motherfuckers are all quiet. Yeah, that's nice. Told the one. What time frame was this from? One minute. Yeah, that's nice. Nice. Yeah, it's good. You could have held that though longer. I would have held that longer. Just due to the fact that you got daily momentum on you. This is the only factor or the only reason why I'm even considering this still being bearish. What GBP I'm still considering being bearish, just because this has the potential of rolling over. Just imagine getting that trade there. 378 pips on EG, that's massive. That's probably like 500 pips worth of money. What's up? But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm good. I mean, it's crazy though. Christian, I think you guys turn 1 year since when you guys first started learning from me. I think next month. I think it's next month when you first joined IML and all that stuff. That's crazy, man. Well, let's see who's been here longer. I think Christian's been the longest in here in the team, besides Sergio, obviously. Sergio's like the OG. If that's the Ricky, I think it is. I think Ricky might have been in the team longer than you, Christian, but yeah, I think other than that, I think you're like the OG member here. You need to get a MacBook, bro. These graphics are shitty. Need you to switch to Mac, sir. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why the fuck you trusted me. I was some kid with no profile pic trying to pitch you to IML. And I somehow brought you in. Yeah, man. There's a ton of people in here I had to convince. Man, don't even get me started on Arturo. Giovanni was a tough one. Wait, Christian, didn't you bring in Jason? Jason, who took you in to Wolfpack? Was that Schneider or Christian? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. I remember when Jason was skeptical as fuck. That was funny. Who else? No, I think that's it. Everybody else just saw the results and just joined the wave.
Shit, I just got tired of them other people.
Yeah, man, you can say their name. Actually, you know what? Let me just end the recording though, because we can just talk now.